Hello and welcome to Houston Sports Live coverage of Texas high school baseball. Thanks for joining us here at the Lake Conroe Classic. We're here at Willis for the Magnolia West versus Willis game one of the day here at Willis High School on this beautiful sunny day. Not a cloud in the sky. We had a little front push through last night. No moisture with it, just kind of changed the winds. It's out of north. A little bit breezy, wind blowing out today. It was blowing hard in yesterday, so out today as we're getting ready for today's action. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jason Greer, the voice of the Woodlands Highlanders, jumping over to our sister network, Houston Sports Live, to bring you all the action live here today from Willis. And a quick mention, do not forget tonight, 5:30 here at Willis, the debut of the Houston Game Day Show live from the ballpark. We'll have a game going on. The crowd will be out. We'll have food trucks out. The audience, the crowd, the vibe, the electricity. You're not going to want to miss it as we are about ready to get things going here in this game one matchup here today on this beautiful Friday here at Willis High School. As we get going here, I'll run through the lineups for you. So leading things off here for the Magnolia West, that's Garrett Bagwell, sorry. The wind is whipping and scorecards went flying. So Garrett Bagwell leading things off. He's behind the plate. I've had the pleasure of watching this young man play for 3 years. He was a starter as a freshman, talented young man. Cole Meredith in the 2-hole and Beckett Steele is in the 3-hole. He's at shortstop. First pitch was a foul ball for strike one. That one misses. And that's going to run it to 1-1 as we're just getting started here. Top of the first inning. On the mound for the Wildcats is Brett Roberts, the righty. So 4, 5, and 6 for Magnolia West. Lucas Huff, Jude Huff, and then Stone Reed. 7, 8, 9 the bottom. Carter Meredith, Braden Campbell, and Kyle Mercer as that's fouled towards the dugout. That's going to keep the count at 1-2 on Bagwell. And that fastball misses down and away for ball two. Evens it up at 2-2 on the catcher, the signal caller for Mag West. And that's line drive to the first baseman.
Number 15 lines out to first base.
Taylor Kelly for out number 1.
Bringing up number 10 for Mag West.
And Cole Meredith, the left fielder, at the plate for Mag West. One out here in the inning. Curveball misses down and away for ball one. The 1-0. That's a slider just below the knees. Beautiful pitch there from Brett Roberts. Misses, and that's going to run the count to 2-0. Fastball right there at the knees for a called strike. Runs it to 2-1. Slider skips it in the dirt. That's going to run the count to 3-1 on the left fielder for Magnolia West. Swings over the top of that one. That's going to run it to 3-2. The payoff pitch from Roberts. is a fastball off the outside corner for ball 4, and that's going to be a walk. 1-out walk for Cole Meredith as we have our first base runner here of the morning. And Beckett Steele, the shortstop, at the plate for the Mustangs. 1 out, runner at first. And if you're just joining us, we got started a couple minutes early. We had 11 o'clock start. Brett Roberts on the mound for the Wildcats. Beckett Steele, the shortstop, at the plate. He takes that in there for a called strike. The 0-1, that is lifted towards left, right at the left fielder's slot. He brings that in for out number 2.
Field of Trent Tarr brings up 2 outs in the inning. Up next for Mag West, number 12.
And that's going to bring up the designated hitter for the Mustangs. That's Lucas Huff. And that gives us 2 outs here in the inning. And a runner at first. Cole Meredith, he worked a walk with 1 out. And the cleanup hitter at the plate. He takes a slider in the dirt. That's ball 1. Coach Earls down at third base for the Mustangs. Coach Washburn for the Wildcats. And that's lifted to center. Right center, Cash Apke positioned just perfectly in front of the flag, makes the catch for out number 3, and that's going to do it for the Mustangs. Top of the first. 1 reaches on a walk, no hits, no runs. You're watching WIllis Wildcat Baseball, courtesy of Houston Sports Live. Bring it back a little early, give you a scout's perspective as we have a lefty on the mound for the Mustangs, otherwise known as the Dirt Boys. That's their nickname. The baseball team has adopted that name. Coach Earls brought that into the culture here. We kind of talked a little bit about that. Here early before most of the people arrived, they got here about 9:30. I got here about 9, so we talked for a little bit. Got a little few insights that him and I talked about the game and some changes that we've seen. So nice little lefty. He's rolling that from the low 3/4 slot. Got a nice little action on that fastball, working away from the righties and into the lefties. So the lefties will have a little bit of a difficulty with that fastball. It's got a little bit of run to it, not a lot of vertical change to it. So it'll be easy to handle if he leaves it in the wrong spots for the Wildcats. And that's Kyle Mercer on the mound for the Mustangs. Leading things off, Gage Blinka, and fastball misses down and in for strike or ball 1 to Blinka. Fouls the fastball off for strike 1 right here behind us. Blinka heading off to, he has signed, committed to Dallas Baptist University. Be playing for Coach Dan Hefner next season. Very talented athlete. I've had the opportunity, another one, to have watched for the past 3 years. a 4-year starter for the Wildcats, and that curveball's in there for a called strike. Runs that count to 1-2 on Blinka. Had himself a nice little day yesterday, especially in the infield. And that is down the line. That's going to drop in for a single as Carter Meredith makes his way over and gets that in and holds Blinka to a single. So the first base runner of the day for the Wildcats is a single by Gage Blinka as he gets things here started for the Wildcats. I'm going to bring up the center fielder, Reed Dorwart. So Blinka yesterday was 2 for 3. Had a double, a single, or take that back, a triple and a single. Dorwart at the plate. Curveball misses high and outside for ball 1. No outs here if you're just joining us. Bottom of the first inning, we're scoreless at 0. Kyle Mercer on the mound for the Dirt Boys. I like that better than the Mustangs. Blinka at first, he just singled. Reed Dorwart yesterday was 1 for 3 with a single. Another slider off the plate. Bagwell behind the plate, a very seasoned catcher. Not a guy you're going to want to test. He's heading on to play at the next level. The 2-0 bounces a slider in the dirt, and that's going to take it to 3-0 on Dorwart. Bagwell with a plus arm behind the plate. He's a plus defender. It'd be tough to run on today. He'll control the bases. And a 4-pitch walk to Dorwart. And the Wildcats are in business here in the top of the first with 2 on and no outs. And you have a little bit of speed on the bases. Possibly a double steal here. Maybe a bunt. Get the runners over. As Hunter Slot is at the plate. He shows bunt, pulls it back. That's 5 balls in a row. From Mercer. The pitch shows bunt again. Can't get it down. Foul towards the Dirt Boys dugout. That's going to be strike 1. Not sure about this call here. I would try to maybe work this count. He's struggling. He's throwing 5 pitches, or he had. That was probably a ball as well. Would have been 6. Maybe put a take on till you get a strike. He bounces a slider in the dirt. And that's going to run into 2-1. Maybe hold the bat in his hand first. You got your 3-hole hitter up. Maybe see what happens here before you put the bunt down. But trying to get the runners over and score early. Get on the board, and that one's foul. For the youngsters out there, if you're watching, they're just trying to get this bunt down. This is a sacrifice. You're not trying to get a base hit. You're trying to move the runners over and give your cleanup hitter a chance to bring 2 in and get you on the board. Typically, the analytics will they do tell you the team that scores first, it's like a overwhelming stat that they will eventually win. It's like 70-something%. Back up the middle, right back at Mercer. He has to struggle to handle it, regathers and makes the throw to first and slots out, but the runners do advance. He does his job. So the runners move up to second and third with 1 out now. Brings up the cleanup hitter, Mason Miller. He's at third base today. He takes, whoa, that was a beautiful pitch. He takes it, good eye, ball 1, right there on the outside corner. Mercer doesn't get the call. Same pitch, same spot. He gets the call on that one. That's going to even it up at 1-1 on Miller. Miller yesterday 0 for 2 with a couple of walks. Shows bunt, gets it down. The squeeze is busted. Now Blinka's in a rundown. Bagwell has him, makes the toss to Stone Reed, makes the tag. And umpire's going to sort it out. And Blinka is out for out number 2 in the 5-3 put out as he was caught in a rundown on a squeeze play. Attempted squeeze, I should say. The 1-2 misses high and outside, evens it up at 2-2. But heads up by Dorwart. He moves on up to third during the rundown. At least keep him. And fastball just under the hands, misses for ball 3. So Miller is still at the plate. Blinka was tagged out in a rundown. Dorwart at third. And that misses down and in for another walk here in the inning. Kind of a situation here with the way things have transpired. You got to look at this from a coaching perspective as you got a lot of movement on the bases. Pitcher struggling to find the strike zone right now. Let your hitters, I would be given instructions here as you walk up. You're looking for one spot in the zone, and let's tee off on it. If he makes that perfect pitch, that slider, and we get behind the count, now let's work from there. 2 outs here in the inning. Runners at first and third as he swings at the slider out in the dirt. Expands the zone a little bit there. It gets strike 1. 2 outs here, bottom of the second. Runners on the corners for the Wildcats. Hawthorne at the plate for the Wildcats. Takes fastball high. Another youngster I've had the opportunity of seeing for a few years. He's been up as the catcher for the Wildcats for at least 2 seasons, I think, at this point. It's fun to watch these kids come up through the system, grow, and then see them as seniors. And that misses outside for ball 2. Runs the count to 2-1, 2 outs. Bottom of the first. Wildcats looking to strike early. Fastball right there. Gets him in on the hands. Over towards Wildcat dugout is the first baseman, Everett Huffman, to the wall. Backs up and makes the catch. And Mercer escapes some traffic here in the first inning. Gets out of the inning with just one hit, couple of walks. Wildcats leave 2 stranded. We're heading to the top of the second. Mag West will have Huff, Reed, and Meredith. That would be Carter Meredith. There's 2 of them out there today. We'll be right back after this. This is Wildcat Baseball on Houston Sports Live. And we're moving on into the top of the second. Scoreless here at WIllis Wildkats Stadium, home of the WIllis Wildkats. They're hosting one of three hosts of the Lake Conroe Classic. They share this with Montgomery ISD, so that's Montgomery High School's hosting, as well as Lake Creek. As Houston Sports Live is up here covering this tournament. And at the plate is Jude Huff, and he takes a fastball on the inside corner for a ball. The sweeper slurve misses outside for ball 2 to Huff. Jude Huff, I should say. There's 2 Huffs, 2 Merediths. If these guys are twins, these 2 brothers, if they're all twins, especially if they're identical twins, I don't think he will. And that sweeper misses outside. Runs it to 3-0. I don't think I've ever seen a team that has 2 sets of twins and the 4 of them are in the field of play all at the same time. The 3-0 is right there for a called strike. For those of you not familiar with me, we can have a discussion about that. I'm sitting at the table with the change my mind sign right now. Swing at that thing. There it is. The pitch before was better. Ground ball on the ground to Keaton Jeffcoat. He makes the flip, and that's in time for the first out of the inning.
Wildcats, 1 out in the inning. Bringing up number 22 for Magwest.
Stone Reed, third baseman at the plate with 1 out. Nobody on. Top of the second inning here for the Dirt Boys. High fastball. He expands his zone, swings at it. Another fastball right there on the outside corner for a called strike. Takes the count to 0-2 on Reed. Reed was part of that rundown. Engaged Blinka with the suicide squeeze, made the tag on Blinka. The 0-2 swung on and fouled straight back into the net right here in front of our camera. That's going to keep it at 0-2. And that is high fastball. Pops it up high on the infield. Jeffcoat under at second and makes the catch. For out number 2 here in the second. That's going to bring up Carter Meredith. He's in right field.
Fly ball to second base, brings up 2
Cole
outs.
Meredith is in left field.
3.
Fastball bounces it in front of the plate for ball 1.
11 for Magwest.
2 outs here in the top of the second. Brett Roberts on the mound for the Wildcats. Carter Meredith at the plate. And right between the shoulder blades with the curveball. If you're going to get hit, that's the pitch to take it. So hit by pitch, and Carter Meredith makes his way down to first. Brings up Braden Campbell, the second baseman, with a runner at first. 2 outs here in the top of the second inning for the Dirt Boys. Coach Earls went to Cy Falls. He's a Cy Falls graduate. That swung on and fouled for strike 1 down the right field line. He was at Cy Falls and those runs that they had back in the days. If you remember, they had Scott Cashmere, Clint Hurdle, 2 kids from the Houston area. They were, I think, 1-3 in the draft, 1-4. And that is to the second baseman, Jeffcoat. Chance for all 3 outs in the inning, and he gets it done.
Ground ball to second base. Number 1, Jeffcoat.
So third out of the inning.
3 outs in the inning.
No runs. You got a hit by pitch. leave one stranded. You're watching Willis Wildcat Baseball on Houston Sports Live. And we're back live at the plate. Cash Apke. Fastball was in there for a strike. Curveball misses just off the plate for ball one. Evens it up at 1-1. He's leading things off here for the Wildcats. Mercer still on the mound for the Dirt Boys. A little change up in there with some nice little diving action away from the righty for the called strike two. I mean, if he can find the spot on that pitch, and he does it again, fouls it at the plate, and Bagwell can't squeeze it. And that's going to keep it at 1-2. Scoreless, top of the second. Fastball on the inside half. It's lifted to shallow center. Jude Huff comes in, backs up a second. The wind blown out. Came in, almost overran that. Made that a little more interesting than it should have been. You can probably hear the wind blowing. If you missed the open, yesterday it was blowing straight in out of right center. So it was blowing up off the coast here in South Texas. And that is lifted out towards left, and that's going to fall in front of Meredith. Cole Meredith, that is, and that's going to be a single for Keaton Jeffcoat. And that's going to bring up Taylor Kelly, the first baseman for the Wildcats, with a runner at first and no outs. Or one out, I should say. I'm sorry. I was a little distracted with the SpongeBob SquarePants music in the background. I hear that at home quite a bit. Wind blowing out today. So yesterday he was in. Today it's out, and it's like a total 180 on the wind shift. It was blowing straight in. The direction is blowing straight out today. And you really hear it whipping around. That fastball is in there for a called strike. Evens it at 1-1 with one out. Fastball, that is driven out to the right center gap. That is trouble. The wind has it. It is out the base of the wall. Oh, as Kelly stumbles around first. The runner is coming in. We got to play at the plate, and not in time. as Jeffcoat is able to come all the way around first and score on the what should have been a double for Kelly. But the turf monster came up and snagged him as he rounded first, and he went down pretty hard. He looks to be okay. So a long single for Kelly, but he picks up the RBI. And the Wildcats are on the board. They score first here in the top of the second and lead 1-0. Fastball misses high. For ball one to Trent Tarr, the left fielder. Swings at the fastball on the outside corner. Evens it up at 1-1. One out runner at first. That's Taylor Kelly. Had the shot off the wall. The 1-1 from Mercer. That's on the ground up the middle. Could be two. The flip and the throw to first is not in time. So Tarr hustles it and beats the throw at first, but Kelly is out on the fielder's choice. As Campbell and Steele, that was just a little too slow. Even with the turf, the ball barely got over the mound, and they were able to get the lead runner. And we're back to the top of the order, and Gage Blinka singled in the first. Takes that pitch low and outside for a ball. Two outs here in the inning with a runner at first. The leadoff hitter, Gage Blinka, at the plate. Probably a contender. Man, puts that curveball perfectly spotted on the inside corner to even it up at 1-1. Blinka will be a contender this year in 13-6A for the MVP of the district, offensive player, 3-year starter. And that fastball is in there, I should say, 4-year starter. So he takes that one for strike two. Has great bat control. Has a lot of pop in that bat for a little guy. That evens it up at 2-2. Two outs. Counts 2-2. Two's on the board. The pitch. And a look to first, and the runner's going. They got him, and he is going to beat the tag as he got a good jump. And Huffman, by the time he got the throw down there to Steele, just not in time, and that's going to be a stolen base for Trent Tarr. And a runner in scoring position for Blinka with a 2-2 count. And that is on the ground, just foul down the first baseline. And we're going to do that all again, keeping it at 2-2. Wildcats have struck here in the second, lead by a score of 1-0. Looking to add to that with Blinka at the plate. Taylor Kelly Trent Tarr at second. They're playing Blinka straight up in the outfield. High fastball. Misses, and that's going to run it to 3-2. And gets him on the curveball on the 3-2 count. And that's a strikeout. That's a rare sight you see from Mr. Blinka. That's going to take us to the top of the third. Wildcats push one across and take a 1-0 lead. You're watching Wildcat Baseball, courtesy of Houston Sports Live. Back a little early, give you a scout's eye on Brett Roberts on the mound. Tall, lanky, long-legged. My high three-quarters slot, that was that sweeper. Back in my scouting days, we called it a slurve. They just kind of renamed it into the sweeper. And there's the fastball coming out of that spot. So it's a little different slot for those two pitches. See if that's something that the dirt boys can
for the Mustangs,
pick up on. As Kyle Mercer, the pitcher, is in the 9-hole, he's going to lead things off here for the Dirt Boys. As he overcooks that fastball and misses way outside for ball 1 to Mercer. And he puts the fastball on the outside corner, kind of found that spot. That's what he was trying to do the pitch before. He took a little bit off and got the control. Fastball at the knee, swung on, and fouled back into the net. That's going to take it to 1-2 on Mercer, the pitcher for the Dirt Boys. And 1-2 count. And he hits him in the shoulder blades with the fastball. And we'll have a courtesy runner for the pitcher. That's going to be number 2. Dominique Trevino is a courtesy running for Kyle Mercer, and that's going to flip the lineup over and bring up Garrett Bagwell, the Rice commit. Quite a few local players on that team. That one almost, I think he was a little off on that one. Thought that was going to break more than it did. Almost caught him in the face guard. Misses inside with the off-speed pitch. And hits him with the off-speed pitch in the back. So we got 2 hit by pitches back to back. Puts runners at first and second for the Dirt Boys, and they got the top of the order.
15, hit by the pitch, putting runners on first and second, bringing up number 10 for the Mustangs. Number 10.
Cole Meredith, the left fielder, at the plate. He walked back in the first. He's up with runners on first and second. No outs. Again, I probably try to play this a little simple. Roberts is struggling. He's hit 2 hitters in a row. Put a cautious take on here, and he shows bunt, and that was the whole purpose of that move. So now we got a chess match going. He runs a pickoff play, spins a second. You watch the hitter. He slides his hand up the bat. He just tipped back. He just tipped the bunt. Now you put your bunt coverage on. You know what's happening, and who's covering who. So Meredith shows bunt again, attempts, and misses. But Hawthorne, ball kind of bobbles around. Missed opportunity there for their Dirt Boys. As Hawthorne had a hard time struggling finding the ball, they could have picked up the 2 bags without the bunt getting down. No balls, 1 strike. Runners at first and second. Meredith's at the plate. He's been showing bunt. Shows it again. Gets it down, but it's a pop-up. Right back to the pitcher, Roberts. Runners, great base running by both runners as they froze in position and held their ground. So just 1 out on the little pop-up back to the pitcher on the bunt. Brings up the shortstop, Beckett Steele, for the Dirt Boys. He flew out to left field back in the first. Runners at first and second, nobody out, or one out now in the inning. And he puts that one up in the air. The wind's got it, drifting back his doorward. Over his shoulder, has to make the catch. The wind just took that ball. Probably carried it another 20 feet, 30 feet than it should have gone. And that's a second out. Nice play out there by Dorwart, making the adjustment.
Making the 2 outs in the inning, bringing up number 12 for the Mustangs. Runners on first and third.
But Mercer, or I'm sorry, I take that back. Trevino's running for Mercer. He was able to tag and advance up to third on the pop fly to center. Brings up the designated hitter, Lucas Huff. He flew out to right field back in the first. 2 outs, runners on the corners. And the curveball misses way outside for ball 1. Wind really going, if you can really hear it, kind of whipping. It's running right behind us over the top of my mic, straight out to right center. We're sitting behind home plate. Flag is whipping crazy. I don't know if you can see that. Out towards the right center gap, right in front of the American Hairwork sign. Give them a shout out. And that ball is lifted in the air on the infield. Blinka, and it falls. It gets in and it's spinning and it's trouble. Got runners. Huff is able to go up to second. The wind just took that. It was a mess. Jeffcoat, Blinka, and Kelly. The wind took it back towards Kelly. He was unable to pick it up. The sun's up, and it just dropped. And that's going to be you don't see it too often. That's going to be an infield double for Lucas Huff, and he picks up an RBI as Trevino comes in to score, as he's the courtesy runner for Mercer, the pitcher. Puts runners at second and third with Jude Huff at the plate. And he takes a fastball high and inside for ball 1. So we're tied at 1 on the RBI infield double by Lucas Huff. Jude Huff at the plate takes a slider in the dirt for ball 2. 2 outs in the inning. The Dirt Boys / Mustangs looking to add another run or 2 as they have runners at second and third. Jude Huff, he grounded out to second baseman Jeffcoat. As there was a step off and a look to second to check on the runner. And the 2-0. Takes that high and outside for ball 3. That's going to run it to 3-0 on Jude Huff. Again, right here you got runners in scoring position. Give him the light. He takes a high fastball. I wouldn't have swung at that one anyways. And now bases are loaded for the Dirt Boys. Here in the top of the third is time's call. Coach Washburn making his way out to the mound. Some words of encouragement here. You got bases loaded. Just kind of walk through it where you are in the lineup. So Stone Reed's going to be at the plate. Your 6-hole hitter. Just playing a conversation on how to attack him. We got 2 outs. Get a ball on the ground, and let's get out of here. Another thing to consider, too, as coaching, Coach Earls had some of his players on his side. Some things that I probably would have brought up is pass balls. You have a very short distance here between the backstop and home plate. Fastball misses high for ball 1 to Stone Reed, third baseman for the Dirt Boys. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Dirt Boys have pushed 1 across, tied it at 1. Misses outside. Takes a count to 2-0. Reed's got to pick a pitch right here. You got to sit on something, try to clear the bases. That's a great pitch, not the one I'm on a 2-0. At the knees on the inside corner. Great take by Stone Reed. He's going to leave one out over the plate. Look for it, and that one misses inside. He tried to get that, paint the corner again, just misses, runs it to 3-1. Again, your Reed, that one spot, that one pitch. Think of that one pitch you hit in batting practice that clears the bases. If they're not there, you're going to take it. Just off the outside corner, great take. He flinched at it, held up, picks up an RBI on the walk, moves everybody up a base. Keeps the bases loaded for the Dirt Boys.
For the Mustangs, 11. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
As Garrett Bagwell comes around to score. Or his courtesy runner did. Brings up Carter Meredith with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He takes a curveball in the dirt for ball 1. Dirt Boys looking to blow this thing open. Takes that fastball. Center cut at the belt for strike 1. Misses with the fastball again. Low and outside, runs it to 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike on Carter Meredith. He was hit by a pitch back in the second. Fastball misses again. Low and outside. Roberts battling with command here in this inning. Hit by pitch, and 2 walks, and an infield double. And time's called by the home plate umpire. He's brought Coach Earls down. Not sure what that conversation was about. Don't know if it was he heard something from the dugout. But we're back and ready for play. It's 3-1's the count on Carter Meredith. And that swung on, lifted on the infield, and it looks like Roberts is going to get out of this jam as Jeff Coates over and makes the catch in shallow right for the 3rd out. But the Dirt Boys push 2 runs across, take a 2-1 lead here in the top of the 3rd. We're moving on into the bottom of the 3rd, and it's going to be 2, 3, and 4. Dorwart, Slot, and Miller for the Wildcats. Wildcat Baseball on Houston Sports Live. The Dirt Boys push 2 across in the top half and have taken a 2-1 lead. but it could have been worse, way worse, as they had the bases loaded and a ball never got out of the infield. You got to give it to a tip of the hat to Roberts for battling and getting that fly ball there at the end to keep it a 2-1 ball game. Mercer back out for a third inning. Dorwart at the plate. Bounces a curveball in there for ball 1. And that is swung on and fouled into the net down the right field line and evens it up at 1-1 on Dorwart. Spans the zone, chases that slider off the plate for strike 2. That one's on the ground to the third baseman. Steele picks it and throws in time. That is the first out here in the inning and the bottom of the third.
Next for the Wildcats, number 13, Hunter Slot.
Brings up the designated hitter, Hunter Slot, for the Wildcats with 1 out. And nobody on. Also a quick shout out to walk-ons, as that curveball's in there for a called strike. Walk-ons, we've partnered with them. Whoa! Wow! Wow!
What a hit by Slot. What a play by the pitcher, number 13.
As Slot just barreled one up, right back up the middle, and
Up next,
a
Wildcats, number 17, Mason Miller.
Kyle Mercer's dentist is glad he made that catch, because that could have been a disaster for the second out. The line drive up the middle brings up Miller, as Slot just barreled that one up right back up the middle. That curveball's in there for a called strike. Swings and misses at the curveball for strike 2. And he's down quick in the count, 0-2. He walked back in the first. Takes a fastball on the inside for a ball, a little high. 1-2, 2 outs here in the inning. And that is lifted towards shallow right. One of the Merediths is on it. Carter Meredith on it. For out number 3, and the Wildcats go down in order. 1, 2, and 3. And Mustangs, the Dirt Boys, lead by a score of 2-1. This is Wildcat Basketball on Houston Sports Live. And we're back for action here, top of the 4th inning. Dirt Boys are sending up. It's going to be Braden Campbell, Kyle Mercer, And then the top of the order, Garrett Bagwell. That ball swung on down the right field line, drifting, and out of play. First strike one. As I was mentioning before, kind of things got a little crazy. It went really fast there. We partnered with walk-ons out of Conroe for coverage of this tournament, so you can catch all of our games in our show live and walk-ons. And actually, I just got a message from the manager and showed the TVs were on and live, and thank you to them for spreading the word of our coverage. Houston Sports Live, we're here, we're on the map, and you can catch us on our YouTube channel. That's swung on, foul tipped into the glove of Hawthorne for the strikeout. And out number one as Campbell is down, swinging on strikes. And I believe that's the first strikeout for the Dirt Boys today. And out number one here in the top of the fourth. Came around to score the first run of the game. Puts a fastball right there on the inside corner for a called strike. So again, a big thank you to walk-ons. And a check swing, and he, not sure about that one. But goes the Wildcats' way on the check swing. Runs the count to 0-2. And that is swung on and chopped foul towards the Dirt Boys dugout. And that's going to keep it at 0-2 on Mercer. But you can catch all the action. Stop by, grab you some crawfish. It is that time of year here in South Texas. And that is lifted to left. He gives it a ride, but Tar is there and makes the catch for out number two. Crawfish, chicken wings, and a nice cold glass of water. I gotcha. 2 outs here in the inning. Garrett Bagwell leading things off, with 2 outs here in the fourth. Dirt Boys leading 2-1. That is swung on and lifted out of play, foul. Bagwell, I said he was a senior. I've seen him for so long. He's only a junior. And a lot of my circle scouting friends, including, I don't do it anymore, but I still have a lot of contacts in that world. I'll tap those guys for some resources every now and then, kind of see what they see. And a lot of us agree this kid right here is probably one of the top 1, 2, 3 catchers in the Houston area. He's committed to Rice, Coach Pearson. A lot of local guys there. Some of my guys from the Woodlands. Braden Sharp is there. He transferred in from Tennessee. And that catches the inside corner at the knees. And that's going to even it up at 2-2 on Bagwell. Nolan Roycraft out of the Woodlands is down there. Maddox Keogh is there, and he transferred to San Jacinto with Coach Wheeler, Coach Williams, that crew over there. That got a loaded team. And speaking of San Jac, Cody Palicios from Mag West is down there this year as a freshman at San Jac. One of the top 5 JUCOs in the nation right now, and that is swung on the hands. That's out towards shadow left. Blinka's on it and makes the catch for out number 3, and that's the 4th for the Dirt Boys. They go in order.
3 up, 3 down for Roberts.
And that's going to take us on to the bottom of the 4th. Dirt Boys lead this one by a score of 2-1, and it's going to be Hawthorne, Epke, and Jeffcoat due up for the Wildcats. This is Houston Sports Live. And we're back for the bottom of the fourth here at the Lake Conroe Classic at Willis. Dylan Hawthorne's going to get things started here for the Wildcats in the bottom of the fourth, with the Dirt Boys leading by a score of 2-1. Kyle Mercer back out for a fourth inning of work. Wind has really picked up. When we first started about an hour ago, it was just a light little breeze, and it's, as the sun's gotten up, curveball misses down and in for ball one to Hawthorne. As the sun's gotten up, the atmosphere is heated, the wind's really picked up. Misses with the changeup, takes it to 2-1, or 2-0, sorry. Bottom of the fourth here in this game one on this beautiful, sunny, not a cloud in the sky Friday. It's about 75, 76 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. And just misses with that slider. That was a great pitch. I almost think he kind of crossed the umpire up. The 3-1 fastball lifted into shallow right. And Meredith makes the catch, Carter Meredith. I got a little clarification from the Dirt Boy fans over here sitting next to me that they're brothers. One's a sophomore, one's a senior, and same thing for the Huffs. I was hoping for twins. I thought that'd be a really cool statistical anomaly to have, considering how this game is driven by data these days. And that fastball catches the outside corner for strike one on Cash Apke. And that one misses the outside corner. Evens it up at 1-1, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Just got on top of that curveball, didn't quite finish it, leaves it up high in the zone for ball two. Swings and misses over the top of that slider for strike two. Nice pitch from Mercer. When you're sitting this close to the game, we're right here behind home plate. Swings over the top of the slider. And that's second strikeout of the day for Mr. Mercer.
2 outs in the inning. Up next,
and out number two. And that's going to bring up Keaton Jeffcoat. He singled back in the second. As I'm very close proximity to what we can see. And that is on the ground. Steele kind of stumbles, gathers, gets it, and fires a strike across. And the Wildcats go down in order. 1, 2, and 3. And no runs, no hits. It's 2-1 ball game. Dirt Boys lead here at Willis in this opening game here on this beautiful Friday on Houston Sports Live. And we're moving into top of the fifth. The Magnolia West, the Dirt Boys, the Mustangs, lead this opening game here on this beautiful Friday by a score of 2-1. It's going to be Cole Meredith, Beckett Steele, and Lucas Huff leading things off here in the 5th for the Dirt Boys. Brett Roberts is back out for inning number 5 of work. Misses low with the fastball. Meredith walked in the first and had the bunt that popped back up to the pitcher. Back in the third, 0 for 2 or 0 for 1 on the day. Oh, the umpire did the sidestep. He was going to call it. Lays off of it. Thought about giving him the call. Runs it to 2-1. And that's right there down the middle. Takes out for strike 2. Evens it up at 2-2. No outs. Top of 5. Cole Meredith at the plate for the Dirt Boys. And paints the inside corner, does Roberts for the strikeout looking. That's his second strikeout of the day. And that's going to bring up the shortstop, Beckett Steele. Steele at the plate with 1 out and nobody on here in the 5th. Misses with the curveball for ball 1. Steele has flown out to left, flown out to center. Misses again with the fastball, takes it to 2-0. The 2-0 from Roberts. Hey, how you doing? If you saw that one. Fastball right over the glove of Hawthorne and right off the net, right in front of my face. You'd be glad to know I didn't flinch. 3 balls, no strikes. Matt misses inside for ball 4. It's a 4-pitch walk for Beckett Steele.
Walk puts number 5 on first base, bringing up number 12 for the Mustangs.
And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Lucas Huff, for the Dirt Boys. With 1 out here in the 5th. Swings over the top of what looked like a changeup. I haven't really seen that today. I don't know if he just took a little off the fastball. And misses on the inside corner. Misses high with that fastball. Runs a count to 2-1 on Lucas Huff. He's a designated hitter. He doubled back in the 3rd and flew out to right in the 1st. Man, if you can, as a right-handed hitter, if you today can let the fastball get some depth and get it to right field, it's going to get in the jet stream, because that jet stream is blowing right over my shoulder, right into my microphone right now. Swings on the fastball. He fouls it straight back to run it to 2-2. Bounces a slider in the dirt. Run to count to 3-2, 1 out on Lucas Huff. I was talking a little bit earlier about Garrett Bagwell, just watching him behind the plate. He takes that low, and runner was going on a 3-2 count with 1 out. And it's a walk for Lucas Huff. 2 walks here. And Coach Washburn making his way out of the dugout. Not sure if this is going to be it for Mr. Roberts. It is, as it looks like we're going to go to we've got a position player coming in. Got some movement on the bench. Let's see how this is going to go. Looks like Gage Blinka is going to come in. He was looking for a different glove, so he's swapping out his infielder's glove for a different glove. And we'll have some changes here as Blinka is going to go to the mound. And I'm not sure who's going to go to short or second as the infielders are hanging around second there. So I don't know if this is just kind of shifting guys around. Roberts is going to stay in the game. We'll let Blinka get loose and we'll sort this all out for you and come right back and get these changes for you. Got some changes. So we have 1 out, runners at first and second. Gage Blinka is coming from shortstop to the mound. Justin Zakos has entered the game. He's at third. Keaton Jeffcoat shifts over to short. And Mason Miller has shifted over to second. Jude Huff at the plate with runners at first and second. Blinka's first pitch on the way is a fastball just below the knees for ball 1. That fastball's on the ground right at Blinka. He flips it over to second and throws it a little too early. He led Jeffcoat a little too far on that. And 1 run's going to come in to score on that. So Steele comes around from second to score on the error. Lucas Huff moves up to third, and Jude Huff at first on the throwing error by Blinka to Jeffcoat. Stone Reed, the third baseman at the plate, he shows bunt. And he takes a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. As the Dirt Boys lead this now by a score of 3-1, and they have runners on the corners with 1 out. bunts down. It's going to be a squeeze. Blinka flips to Hawthorne, and the tag is in time. As Hawthorne gets the tag down. It was a bang-bang play. Nice flip by Blinka to Hawthorne. He gets the tag down, and Lucas Huff is out at home on the 1-2 putout. So Stone Reed is at first with the fielder's choice. Sort this all out for you, and I think Huff had said something to the umpire in the process. The umpire didn't like it and had a talk with Coach Earls. At the plate, Carter Meredith with 2 outs and runners at first and second. And Blinka puts a fastball right there on the outside corner for a called strike. Carter's been hit by a pitch and flown out to second in the second and third innings. Dirt Boys lead 3-1, added to the run total here in the fifth. That's on the ground to the first baseman, and that is foul as it just darted to the right of the bag as Kelly got to it. And one of the things they've done this year in Texas high school baseball is they have added a safety. They're trying to mitigate the collisions at first base. If you've seen some of those throughout the big leagues on the highlights, guys getting hit, elbows, UCLs getting torn, ankles getting shredded on collisions at first, or somebody stepping on somebody's foot. And here's the 0-2. And that's right down the middle for a called strike 3. And Blinka gets his first strikeout of the game. Comes out of the pen, only allows 1, but that was unearned. Gets the Wildcats out of a jam. They're still in this game. They're down 3-1 as we move to the bottom of the fifth. This is Houston Sports Live. shows bunt, takes the fastball outside. Evens it at 1-1. The Dirt Boys, Mag West, lead this by a score of 3-1 here in the bottom of the 5th. And a check on the runner. He was leaning, but doesn't have that much of a lead. So easily able to get back. And what looked like a changeup, it's either that or he's just losing a little bit on the velo on the fastball. But that had a little bit of vertical action to it, so missed the barrel of Tar for strike 2. Fastball just a little high. And that's going to even it at 2-2. As time's been called by the home plate umpire. And he has asked for Coach Washburn to come out. And they're having a conversation. Just not clear. He's done this to Mag West as well. Not sure if this is something from the dugouts. Sometimes umpires, and I'll finish that statement here in a second. The 2-2, just off the outside corner for ball 3. It was a fantastic pitch and a great frame job by Bagwell. Runs the count full with no outs and a runner at first. That's swung on, that's lifted towards left. Meredith positioned right there in the gap, makes the catch. And that's one down here in the 5th.
Brings up number 4, Gage Blinka.
Brings up Blinka. What I'm saying about umpires is, you know, a lot of people like to give these guys a hard way to go, and it's just not, it's hurting the game. So if you're out there and you're one of those parents that are doing that, the umpire pools are across youth sports, high school sports, has just tremendously shrunk. Blinka at the plate. And I'll come back, I'll finish that. Puts a fastball right there on the outside corner for a called strike 1 on Gage Blinka. And criticizing these guys, and you see people running out on the field and pushing them and stalking them in the parking lots. We don't have a pool of umpires to pull from. And honestly, I don't blame them. They come out here, and on these high school games, they're getting a decent amount of money for their time to be out here. Some of these guys are retired. They're doing this for fun, for love of the game. And catching, you know, words from the stands is just something they don't need. You want to moan and groan about a call, fine. But, you know, threatening these guys is why we're in a position of where you have kids, literally kids, umpiring high school games. You know, 21, 22-year-old kids. Sometimes you get high school kids umpiring freshman or JV games and youth sports, and you want to complain about the level of the umpiring. That's why. And there's a cause and effect to it. The 1-2 misses high. And that's going to even in at 2-2. And some of these guys, it's an subjective game. Some of them don't want to hear things from the dugout, and I kind of think that's what that whole conversation was about. He heard something that was, and the throw down to second by Bagwell airs out the shortstop. But the center fielder is there to back that up, keeps the runner at second. So a stolen base for Taylor Kelly. Or I take that back. I believe that's Jake Frazier that came into the game to pinch run. So Gage Blinka now with a 3-2 count. And he takes a curveball. Sorry, that was a 2-2 count. Now it runs the 3-2. And he takes that curveball off the outside corner for ball 3. Counts full, 1 out. Runner at second. Top of the order, Gage Blinka at the plate. Fastball, he gets it on the ground. First baseman Huffman gets to it. But the speed of Blinka, as Mercer couldn't get there in time, the foot race to Blinka, and Blinka's going to get himself an infield single. And Frazier moves up to third. And you have runners at first and third with Reed Dorhort at the plate. And only 1 out in the inning. So tying runs at first. Go-ahead runs at the plate. Time's called. Looks like the pitching coach for the Dirt Boys is going to come out and have a conversation. So again, back to the umpires. Give these guys a little bit of leeway. And let's support the Texas Association of Sports Officials. Help them grow the network. If you're someone out there that enjoys the game, looking to get back into the game, and they're looking for officials all the time, football, basketball, baseball, and some of the schools, the bigger schools, for your time, it's a decent amount of paycheck. I don't know what they exactly pay anymore for these games. I know some schools pay a little bit more than others, but these guys are out here. It's 11 o'clock. I take that back. When we started, it was 11 o'clock. And these guys are out here covering this game. And, it takes a guy that's probably retired. He could be out on the golf course having a good day, and he's taking his day to be here to call these games. So a little appreciation to those guys, and thank you to them for what they do. Got to meet a lot of them up at the Texas High School Coaches Convention this past January when we were up there covering that event. Just a great group. They do what they can to put the right officials in the right spots and keep this game going and for Texas high school athletics. So kudos to them, and get behind them. You want to boo, boo. And to throw down to second. Oh. As Blinka slid off the bag. As Coach Earls has come out. Throw was a little high from Bagwell. It was in time. Steele had to come down and make the tag. Initially safe, but if he did slide off the bag and he held the tag, that's where you go to New York and you get that, which I can jump on my stump about that. Not a fan of, let's slow it down to a half a millisecond and watch his foot come off while the tag's on there. It's kind of, I get it. I don't know if you want to interpret the rules that way. But the 1-0 from Mercer, that's back up the middle, line drive off the glove of Mercer. Steele has it. The throw to first is in time, and a run is going to score. Blinka moves up to third.
Gets an RBI, moving Gage over to third, bringing up number 13, Hunter Slot. 2 outs in the inning.
So Dorrit picks up the RBI
Wildcats 2.
on the putout by the shortstop Steele, and it's now a 3-2 ball game with Hunter Slot at the plate. Curveball misses outside. For ball 1. Blinka's at third with 2 outs. We have a pop-up, shallow left. Steele, the shortstop, under, makes the catch for the 3rd out. But the Wildcats put 1 on the board and cut the lead in half. It's now 3-2 as we move to the top of the 6th inning here at the Lake Conroe Classic. We're in Willis covering Wildcat baseball on Houston Sports Live. Moving into top of 6 for the Dirt Boys, Braden Campbell, Kyle Mercer, and then back to the top with Garrett Bagwell. Gage Blinka out for his first full inning. He came in and got 2 outs in the 5th, and he's out here for the 6th. Started at shortstop, leadoff hitter. He's an all-around player for the Wildcats, has gotten it done as a 4-year starter here for Coach Washburn. And he's heading off to Dallas Baptist University in the fall and be playing for Coach Dan Hefner. Old friend of mine, he's been there forever. Fastball misses high for ball 1 to Campbell. The 1-0. Can't catch up to the fastballs. High elevated, evens it up at 1-1. Campbell struck out in the 4th, grounded to the second baseman, Jeff Coate, back in the 2nd. So we did have, if you're just joining us, Blinka came in the 5th. We had some defensive changes. Miller moved over to 3rd, Jeff Coate to short, and Zekos came into the game at 3rd. The 1-2. Fastball misses low. Evens it up at 2-2. Sweeper just misses below the zone. Nice pitch from Blinka. And again, if you just to mention, we'll be here at 5:30 today at WIllis. That fastball is on the ground, and it's going to get through the middle for a single for Braden Campbell. That's his first hit of the day. And the Dirt Boys have base runner on with no outs here in the 6th inning. But Houston Game Day will be here live at 5:30 with a live show. We'll be on air for an hour. There'll be a game going on prior to the WIllis Wildkats matchup against Waller at 6:30. Mercer shows bunt, pulls back, pitch misses for ball 1. Just a spot here. Let's try to get him over, get him to 2nd. Top of the lineup's coming up. See if we can cushion the lead. I'm sure it's what Coach Earls is thinking. The 1-0 shows bunt. And that one catches the outside corner for a called strike. Evens it at 1-1 on Kyle Mercer. He's on the mound today for the Dirt Boys. Bunt again, gets down the first baseline. Perfectly executed bunt. Nobody's there. Blinka takes it himself and races him to the bag. Showing off the athleticism, Blinka, and takes it himself and gets the out. For the first out of the inning, athletic play by Blinka and a foot race between the 2 pitchers. Not too many times you see that. Brings up the leadoff hitter, the catcher, the junior, the Rice commit, Garrett Bagwell, for the Dirt Boys with 1 out and a runner in scoring position. And he's hit again on the inside on the elbow. Second time he's been hit by a pitch today. He's a catcher. He'll rub some dirt on that and be just fine. I'm sure there's a reason why they had that name, the Dirt Boys. We'll have a courtesy runner for Bagwell. It's going to be, looks like Bryce Dalton comes off the bench to courtesy run for Bagwell. So runners at 1st and 2nd with 1 out here in the top of the 6th. And Cole Meredith at the plate. That is swung on, lifted high in the air towards the Wildcats dugout and up into the stands for strike one. Meredith struck out in the 5th. Popped a bunt up in the 3rd to the pitcher, and he walked in the 1st. Wildcats defensively have shifted around to the left a little bit in the outfield. Double play depth on the infield. Fastball misses down and away. Evens it up at 1-1. On the ground, up the middle, Jeffcoat to it, steps on the bag to first, and not in time as a throw pulled Kelly off the bag, but they do get an out at second. So Braden Campbell moves up to 3rd on the fielder's choice. The courtesy runner Dalton is out at 2nd on the unassisted play by Jeffcoat. Leaves Meredith at 1st with the fielder's choice. At the plate, Beckett Steele takes a fastball off the outside corner for ball 1. Steele looking to add to the Dirt Boys' lead. Takes a fastball off the outside corner for ball 2. 2 outs. Runners at 1st and 3rd. 2-0 count on the 3-hole hitter Beckett Steele, the shortstop for the Dirt Boys. The pitch. Puts a fastball right there on the outer 3rd for a called strike. Time called at the plate. One thing high school baseball doesn't have that every other level has, from the pros to the colleges, you guessed it, a pitch clock. That's on the ground. That's going to get through the 6-hole for a single. Steele comes through, picks up the RBI, and picks up an insurance run for the Dirt Boys. So RBI single for Beckett Steele gives the Dirt Boys a 4-2 lead, puts runners at 1st and 2nd now, with the cleanup hitter Lucas Huff at the plate. He takes a curveball in there for a called strike. Two outs here in the inning. Bottom of the 6th. More than likely, the Wildcats will get to finish this inning, and that'll be it. We are in a tournament, so it's time limit. You finish the inning that you start. He skips a fastball, but again, this, you could probably hear that on my mic. That's how close I am. It skipped right back to Hawthorne. You got to make sure at second you get a good jump, because that thing comes right back to the catcher. And he shot it down to 3rd, made it closer than what it should be, but the runners move up to 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs. A base hit here gives you 2. The 1-1. That is hammered just foul off the bat of Huff by about a foot down the left field line. That runs the count to 1-2. Lays off the curveball. Low and outside to even it up at 2-2. That is hammered foul. He just got the barrel way out in front of that. Waited a little bit. That ball was probably up into the trees out in left center field. Wind's kind of slowed down for the first time here in the last probably 45 minutes to an hour. Huff at the plate, the 2-2 from Blinka. Misses high for ball 3. Runners at second and third. 3-2 is the count on Lucas Huff with 2 runners on the bases. A chance to extend the Dirt Boys lead. The payoff pitch from Blinka is swung on, lifted high in the air, shallow center, Dorwart on the move, has to back up a little bit with the wind, makes the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. But the Wildcats push take that back. The Dirt Boys push one more across and take a 4-2 lead as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning here at the Lake Conroe Classic. Opening game here for today. The Wildcats are sending up Miller, Hawthorne, and Apke in their half of the 6th. Back on the other side. This is Houston Sports Live. And see who they have. Mason Miller leading things off. Mercer out for the 6th inning. Takes a curveball off the outside corner for a called strike. Mercer backdoored it. That one was a little more middle in the 3rd, and that one misses. Evens it up at 1-1. We're just getting going here in the 6th. Swung and missed over the curveball for strike 2. Curveball lifted, lazy pop fly to the second baseman, Braden Campbell.
Up next for the Wildcats,
for out number 1. Misses with the curveball for ball 1. Floats that one in there for a called strike to even at 1-1 on Dylan Hawthorne. Hawthorne, the catcher for the Wildcats. He's flown out to right and popped up to short. That's on the ground to the 3rd baseman. Stone Reed makes the play.
Up next for the Wildcats, number 9.
And it looks like the Wildcats are down to what I would assume is their last out. So we shall see. Cash Apke at the plate with 2 outs, nobody on, and fouls it off the ankle for strike 1. But all the stuff these kids wear, they look like a transformer up there. Check swing, holds it. Appeal is no. Little bit outside, either high or outside. A good pitch, though, the 1-1 curveball. He fouls it into the dirt at the plate. For strike 2. Yeah, but these guys wear elbow pads and ankle and wrist, and the 1-2. Curveball bounces it off the turf. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 outs, 6th inning. The Dirt Boys, Mag West, leading this 4-2. Fastball just below the knees. Runs it to 3-2, counts full on Cash Apke. He's out in right field for the Wildcats today. And he swings over the top of the curveball for the 3rd out of the inning, and making sure now we're playing one more. I was thinking that was going to be the end of it, but we're moving to the top of the 7th here at the Lake Conroe Classic. You're watching it on Houston Sports Live. In this opening game on day 2 of the Lake Conroe Classic between the Magnolia West Mustangs, aka the Dirt Boys for you Mag West fans out there listening, and the WIllis Wildkats. Scores 4-2. And Jade Huff, center fielder, leading things off for the Dirt Boys. He reached on an error. He reached on a walk in the 3rd, and he grounded to the second baseman, Jeff Coate, in the 2nd. And he's up in the count 2-0 real quick. The 2-0 on the way. And fouled into the dirt at the plate for strike 1. I think that was a replay of the 3rd pitch. He fouls out one at the plate. Same spot, same pitch. It's going to even it up at 2-2. On Jude Huff, Stone Reed on deck, Carter Meredith in the hole. The fastball misses outside. That's going to run into 3-2 on Huff. That is hammered to right field, giving chase is Apke up against the wall. Makes the catch, does Cash Apke for the Wildcats in out number 1 here in the 7th. Third baseman Stone Reed at the plate. Foul tip out of the glove of Hawthorne for strike one. Reed has reached on a fielder's choice. He walked in the third and flew out to the second baseman in the second. Chases the high fastball for strike one, or strike two. That takes the count to 0-2. Misses high and outside. One and two is the count on Stone Reed, third baseman. Looking to ignite a one-out rally for the Dirt Boys. That's on the ground and fielded perfectly by Coach Earls. Flashing that leather. There's a funny story about Coach Earls and I is going back in time history. If I have time for it here, as Reed expands the zone and strikes out on the curveball from Blinka. And that gives us out number 2.
Bringing up number 11 for the Mustangs.
And Carter Meredith at the plate. But Coach Earls and I go back to his Cy Fall days when I was scouting, and I was coaching for the Houston Heat at the time, I think. It was back when they had that team with Cashmere and Hurdle, and they were just, or Huddle, they were loaded. That team was loaded. They had probably the 2 best pitchers in the country were on that team, and in the state of Texas and in the country. And then I think it was at the Woodlands place and upset the Woodlands. They had a loaded team. It was right before the 06 team that they had. That is fouled down the right field line and out of play for strike one. Runs it to 2-1. And they were down by a game and came back and won game 2 and game 3 at the Woodlands place, and were able to move on through the state final or state championships, as he just gets a piece of that one to stay alive, to run it to 2-2. And he was on that team. And, I was at that game, scouting that game, and him and I had a conversation about where he was there, and I was like, oh, man, I was there, saw that win, that comeback. So some history as we go back, and that misses down and away for ball 3, runs it to 3-2 on Carter Meredith. Misses just below the knees for ball 4, and that's going to be a walk for Carter Meredith. But what Coach Earls has done with Mag West and the culture he's built, a state championship, an appearance. They're always there at the end of the year in the Final 4, final 8 teams in the state of Texas battling for a state championship. The culture, the attitude, the fundamentals and the things that he teaches and preaches here with this school and the program and the culture he's built is just fun to watch. It's fun to watch these guys do their thing, and everybody does it a little bit different. And when you get the results, it's fun to watch. The 1-0 catches the inside corner, evens it at 1-1 on Braden Campbell. Campbell singled in the 6th, struck out in the 4th, grounded to Keaton Jeffcoat at second, back in the second. The 1-1 from Blinka, that's down the right field line and foul into the Wildcat bullpen. Takes the count to 1-2 on Campbell. Runner at second. And a nice pitch from Blinka, paints the outside corner at the knees, knocks down that Pringle can, and that's a strikeout for Blinka. That's going to be his second third of the game in just 2 2/3 innings. Moving to the bottom of the 7th, the Wildcats trail the Dirt Boys by a score of 4-2. This is Wildcats baseball. We're here at the Lake Conroe Classic, courtesy of Houston Sports Live. And here we go. The Wildcats got 3 outs to tie this thing. 3 runs. Gets them the W for the walk-off. 2 ties it. And it all starts right here with Keaton Jeffcoat leading things off. Taylor Kelly, he's on deck, and Trent Tarr is in the hole. If any of those guys reach, you're back to the top of the order, and they'll be in business. And that is up the middle. 1 pitch and a leadoff single for Keaton Jeffcoat, his 2nd of the day. And that's the way it's his way to the plate for the Wildcats. With no outs and a runner at first. Kyle Mercer is looking to finish this thing up and get the complete game win. That's swung on right to the shortstop steal. He's just going to go to first and take the out. Smart move by that young man. No reason to risk flipping it and throwing it into the outfield. Take the for sure out. It was a slow roller. Gets the out. Runner moves up to second. And you got 1 out. It's things like that as a coach, instructor. You love to see a player with a heads-up play like that. Tells you a lot about the kid, the player, the skills. When you see kids that can demonstrate the mental side of the game, that's a big plus. It's usually a differentiator when it comes to scouting and evaluation of players. The 0-1, he skips a slider in the dirt for ball 1, evens it up at 1-1 with 1 out. Trent Tarr at the plate, reached on a fielder's choice in the 2nd, flew out to left, and he fouls that one down the left side for strike 2. 1-2 is the count on Trent Tarr. He's out in left field today for the Wildcats here in the bottom of the 7th. Wildcats need 2 to tie it, 3 to win it. Runner in scoring position with 1 out. That is to the right side. First baseman Huffman gathers and steps on the bag for out number 2.
Tarr advances Jeffcoat to third, bringing up number 4, Gage Blinka.
But the base hit by Jeffcoat, he's at third. That allows the lineup to progress. So back to the top of the order. If there's a guy you want at the plate to tie the game, it's this one. And that's Gage Blinka. Takes a fastball high for ball 1. I almost think you don't give this kiddo, if I'm Mercer, I don't give him anything that he can pull like that. He just missed that one. That's going to even it up at 1-1. 2 outs in the inning. The 1-1 from Mercer. Expands the zone, and a throw behind the runner at third by Bagwell. One ball, 2 strikes is the count on Gage Blinka. He's been on base a couple times today, a couple of singles. Fastball high and inside, little chin music. That's going to even it up at 2-2. Mercer reaching back. He's got some left in the tank here in the 7th. The 2-2 and a check swing. That's going to run it to 3-2. Man, I know you don't want to put the tying run on first base, but when it's this kid, the potential MVP, and he pops a curveball in there on the outside corner for the called strike, and Blinka is down looking to end the game. The Dirt Boys take this game, the opening game of the Lake Conroe Classic, here on day 2 by a score of 4-2. We'll be back with some numbers and a player of the game for you here on Houston Sports Live. All right, we'll come back, wrap this thing up for you. The Mag West Dirt Boys take this by a score of 4-2. They move to 7-2 on the season, and the Wildcats fall to 5-4. As far as a player of the game, and I'm going to have to go with Kyle Mercer for the Mag West Mustangs, a.k.a. the Dirt Boys. He goes 7 innings, gives up a couple of runs. One of those, I believe, was not even earned on it because it came across on an error. So he got it done today, and the strikeout at the end of the game to get probably one of the best players in the Houston area out to end it with a runner at third and a chance to extend the inning is a testament of the performance that Kyle Mercer put up today for the Dirt Boys. Brett Roberts went 4 1/3 for the Wildcats, kept them in the game. Blinka came in and he gives up a run, but you know the bats just were quiet there at the end for the Wildcats. They couldn't get it done, and so by a score of 4-2, the Mag West Dirt Boys take this game. And congratulations to Kyle Mercer, our player of the game in this opening day game here on day 2 of the Lake Conroe Classic on Houston Sports Live. Today, a couple of things for you. So one, again, walk-ons, a big thank you to them, a shout-out to walk-ons in Conroe. They're right off the interstate on 45 as you pass T's Nursery Road. They're across the road from where the old outlet mall was. They're just up and going. Great location, great little place. They have our games on. So if you're out and about, you're trying to grab lunch and you want to watch one of our games, you'll catch it there. They have the links. They have them up on YouTube. Be sure to tell them that we sent you in there to watch some baseball, high school baseball today. It's kind of one of those times in sports professionally. It's kind of slow. You know, you got NBA is kind of in that lull moment. There's no NFL. There's no college football. You got some college baseball going. They're not quite in gear of their conferences. You got some great high school baseball, some fantastic players. You got players like Gage Blinka, an all-state caliber player. Garrett Bagwell today, all-state caliber player. Players from Atascocita, they're out there. They're warming up. They're a fantastic team. Some great high school baseball. You catch all that here live on Houston Sports Live, and they'll have it on the TVs on over at Walk-On. So a big thank you to them. And then finally, we're kicking off here in about 4 hours, 4.5 hours, our premier Houston Game Day show live. We'll have some interviews for you. And I got a text from our special guest. He's doing everything he can to make it happen to be here. So hopefully he can make it, and we'll announce that once I see him, and we can make sure we get him here for it. He's out of town. He's on his way here. And it'd be great to have him on the desk if he can make it. You're going to love it. You're not going to want to miss it. Hit that subscribe button and pay attention, because when that thing comes on, it's going to be electric. The fans are out. And all you Willis folks, please come on out. Give us some support, some love. We love to hear it from the audience. And the game's going to be going on. Then we're going to turn it right around, and we're going to cover first pitch of that Willis-Waller game at 6:30. That'll be on Houston Sports Live. Again, if you head on over to our channel, hit that subscribe button, you'll get all the notifications when we're going live and what games we have upcoming on the schedule. And last thing I want to do as we roll on out of here is a few scores. The Woodlands, they're up in Dallas, Fort Worth area. They lost yesterday to Grapevine, who's a fantastic team. They got one of the best players in the country up there on that team. They lost to Grapevine yesterday. They're playing right now, and it looks like they're down now to Hebron by a score of 4-0. You got Grand Oaks is hosting. They're one of the teams hosting the Conroe Farrell Classic. They're down to Aldine right now by a score of 3-1. That'd be an interesting one to watch, because Aldine is one of those schools that Grand Oaks could face in the playoffs, or any of the teams that we cover in 13-6A could face in the playoffs. That's usually a round one matchup for a bi-district, one of the 4 bi-district teams out of our 13-6A. Atascocita and Mag West, they're about to kick off here in 30 minutes. So you got that game coming up as well. Conroe was on the board here. I'm trying to find their score for you as I'm rolling through my scoreboard. Grand Oaks beat Stratford yesterday. Grapevine beat the Woodlands yesterday. New Caney Eagles beat Langham Creek by a score of 7-5. Atascocita beat Bryan yesterday by a score of 4-3. Cy Woods, and again, I'm bringing up Aldine. It's very interesting because Cy Woods, a powerhouse program, beat Aldine by a score of 1-0. College Park fell to Fulshire yesterday by a score of 10-8. The New Caney Eagles took down the Hurricanes out of Hightower, Fort Bend Hightower, by a score of 12-3. And Magnolia and Lake Creek. Magnolia beat Lake Creek by a score of 6-4. Lake Creek, another big school to keep your eyes on. So a lot of great baseball going on this weekend. We have a lot of it here for you on Houston Sports Live. Again, 5:30, tune in. We'll have our remote show, then turn around at 6:30 and have the game. Looking forward to seeing you out there. I'll be out there with my partner, Jordan Smith, and our special guest. You're not going to want to miss it. Tune in, 5:30. That's it for now. We'll see you at 5:30 back here at Willis High School. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you here in about 4.5 hours. Thank you, and God bless.